Cole, why do you feel like so many softball players struggle with throwing mechanics and throwing velocity compared to baseball boys?
Well, I will tell you this is part of the reason I was thankful I played baseball unknowingly, is that when I was really little, I got to throw this. A little boy and a little girl's hands are the same size until they start to go through puberty, but yet we will hand a little girl this to throw. And so I actually did an experiment. This was a couple of years ago. I was playing catch with a 9-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy, and we were playing with mostly baseballs. And I said, "Hey, throw this to me a few times." And he throws it. And he even starts to do that push throw.
Mm-hmm.
And he stops after like 3 or 4. He goes, "I don't like this." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because I can't grip it. I can't hold it."
Yeah.
And so what we teach throwers to do is pull that ball out, have it upside down. The problem is when a girl's hand's really small, this is what it seems like. So this is a normal sized softball. This is an oversized softball. It's a pitching tool. But when you put it in a little kid's hands and it feels like this, they don't want to pull it out facing down. They feel like they have to hold it like
Yeah, they lift it like they're holding like
we
a
talked about, like a waitress.
carrying a pizza. Yeah.
They're scared to turn it upside down, and so it turns into this push throw. And I mean, I get it. The argument would be like, well, they have to throw a softball in a game. That's awesome. What I have discovered is I think it's almost harder to change a bad throwing mechanic than a bad hitting mechanic.
Yeah.
And so why not play catch with a softball? Or even if you have a little kid, I found this like little miniature baseball training tool. There's so many things you can use, but the biggest part they need to feel is that they have control.
Yeah.
They have control over the ball. And so what I would do is play catch the baseball first and then give them a softball, and they'll naturally be starting to figure out like, oh, I can't have my hand facing down
Yeah.
and throw it. And what's funny, like, you're a pitcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the hardest you ever threw? Like, what was your top speed in game? Like, you have
94.
94. That's really fast. So if I said, okay, Dan, how hard can you throw this compared to this? Do you think you could throw this 94 miles an hour?
I've thrown a softball, I think 84. So already
That's
10,
perfect.
10 mile per hour drop. And that was like, I could feel all this tension like through my bicep. And it's like, it wants to roll out of your hand. Like if you throw a beach ball, it like immediately shoots up in the air. You can feel that with this. When you throw these really hard, well, I throw with my normal mechanics, but like, because it's so big, you can't get on top of it as well at high speeds. So you have to work really hard with your forearms and your biceps to keep this going down. So like when I was throwing it above 80, I couldn't throw it below head height. I could not get on top of it. It would just stay at head height. Like this thing, I could probably throw it, I don't know, mid 70s at best. But like same effect, like you just can't get on top of it, and then you start losing, everything changes. So yeah. I mean, it's a big problem. There's a lot of teaches in softballs too, or in softball too. I mean, the baseball thing I think is the number one way to just like essentially solve the problem from the very beginning. Yeah. Just like let your daughter throw
something she can
all the time. It'll transfer fine. Like you're just throwing an object. Like
yes.
I don't know why people freak out. Like, well, if she throws a baseball, she's not gonna be able to throw a softball. It's like that's not true. Yeah. Kids throw footballs all the time, and then they pick up baseball and they're fine. But like with softball, there's also all these coaches who are just like, it's a fast game, so they got to get rid of it. So like, so they just you field it, and then it's like right, go to the top, and then they have this mechanic where they're going up, which is not natural. Every high level thrower, they all pull back. They don't go up.
Down. Yep.
And like, yeah, get out of your glove quick. And then they're just here and they're just running around like this. Is a super unathletic, and then they shove it, and it's like, bring it to your center. If you have time, if the girl's really slow and it's hit hard at you, you're gonna shuffle once or twice. It should be here, and then you'll crack it, and then it'll pull back when it's time to throw. But so many girls, they get the ball, it's immediately out of their glove, and they hold it up here, and now and they just don't have this synchronicity with the rest of their body where every part goes, their shoulders pull apart and everything goes in its proper sequence. They just get it here and then just like, yeah.
We gotta stop teaching this too. So we still see a lot of.
You don't have to point the ball back.
We still see a lot of do this.
That was a baseball teach. That was a baseball teach, and no one can explain why it was useful.
Instead of
no one does it. If you look at slow motion video,
pitchers,
it's the ball is held sideways. It might look like it's facing back when the arm is longer, but it's not, and it's always here by the time it's go time. So. And that's part of the problem is like in baseball, there's been better technology, better money. So there's been slow motion video of people on TV. And it's like, wait, there's my favorite pitcher. And he doesn't do any of the things my old crotchety pitching coach told me to do. That's strange. Maybe I'll look up some other YouTube videos of slow motion. Oh, look, none of them do that. And then you go say, hey, coach, how come you're teaching me to do this thing that none of my heroes do? And there's been a lot of kids have been bringing receipts, and that's been really good for baseball. But in softball, only in the last couple of years have like games been televised more, and they bring the slow motion cameras to the ESPN games, and so now you can't hide as much. Like for me, looking to try to like on my YouTube channel have examples of really good wealth, like good girls with really good mechanics, even to D1 level. I couldn't find them.
Mm.
You could have a D1 shortstop. She still has a low elbow, not like really low, but like lower than would be acceptable in baseball. And so it's like it's still hard to find good examples and people who are teaching the correct way
Yeah.
because it's been so culturally rooted, and there's been no receipts for people to say like, we've been teaching this wrong for 30 years and I'm not doing it that way.
Just like the squish the bugs thing. Somehow that's
Yeah.
still happening, and like
Mhm.
that's not where we generate force from.
Right.
But
Which is fine for like a T-baller maybe who like doesn't swivel their hips at all.
yeah.
But like after they get that, it's like, no, that's not how this is done. Yeah. So yeah, it's frustrating, and like, and also this idea that we've got to get rid of it right away.
Nope. We just got to beat them by like this
You
much.
just, yeah. And like,
If you have a bad umpire, maybe got to beat them by this
you're
much.
still gonna move your feet, and a lot of times when they're slow, it's a hard hit ball. You'll shuffle once and make that throw, and if you shuffle once, that throw's coming out 3 miles an hour harder than otherwise, and it gets there quicker anyway. So there's like a lot of myths that are frustrating. You can probably tell, but um,
But it's true. I mean, I deal with it all the time. It's um to your point, like quickness is better than velocity, especially in our game. It is like a 3/4 throw versus standing up and coming over the
yeah,
top.
which
It
is
takes a
odd.
long time.
Yeah, which is strange because then softball also seems to hate sidearm throwing. And it's like if we're a quick
Yeah.
get rid of a quick throw sport, then
Then why
like
aren't we teaching
why
it?
aren't we teaching sidearm, which is easy to do when you teach it and they practice it, and you can get enough velocity and it's way quicker. It's way quicker than going overhand. But like everyone has to throw overhand, and then it's slower, but it's a whole thing.
It's gonna be okay.
Is it?
But
Is it,
it's
is it
true.
though?
It's true though. So like have your little girls and your little boys throw with smaller balls that they can control, that they can face down, that they could shake around and not drop. That's a really good test, actually. Like, I should be able to shake this really hard and not feel like it's going to fall out of my thumb and even my
Well,
hand.
you're doing it now. Congratulations. Great way to go. And they should be throwing sidearm. Learn it early, throw on the run, make the fun, fancy plays with baseballs and softballs. I was just working with a D1 player, and when we started working on our sidearm throws, we did them with a baseball. We would do like 15, 20 with a baseball, then I would switch and say, all right, let's go back to softball. And, you know, it translates just
problem,
fine.
yeah.
No, it's easier to learn with this and let the arm do what it wants to do with a smaller ball in your hand.